Obviously, the purpose of the call is, first of all, congratulations on the role that you landed. Tell me the name of the role in the company. It's Barclays, isn't it?
So yeah, so basically I'm working for Barclays,
Yeah.
but I am on a payroll with Randstad. They got me hired for Barclays
Mhm.
and I'm an onboarding business partner with Barclays. It's a contractual role. They are pushing us to go ahead and interact and having an opportunity to work in Barclays and to work in the head office basically, where I get an opportunity to interact with different clients and different sectors, which
Mhm.
gives me an opportunity and a platform to network basically for my future.
Of course, it's a really, really good role. A lot of international students probably want to get into similar roles, or they want to work for big companies like Randstad or Barclays. What's
Yeah.
like number one advice? How can international students actually do that?
To be very honest, applying way before I graduated in October. My dissertation submission was September, but I started way earlier with that.
Yes.
But the biggest change which I got was when I started with you. I was applying randomly and everything, but I used to get a video call because I interviews basically because I used to tailor my CVs and everything. But
Mhm.
the main thing is I started in December.
Mhm.
In December I started, but at that time I wasn't getting interviews because when I spoke to you later on, you told me you have to apply at least 4 to 5 hours in a week,
Mhm.
and you have to be very accurate what you're applying for, why you applying for. You have to tailor the CV accordingly. You helped me through tailoring the CV, how to do it, what is it looking for. Like I used to always think my CV is perfect and still getting rejected. No, I always thought that the mistake is in me, not in the person who is looking for the candidates, not the hiring manager. Because if you think about that way, you will always try to work on something. So I actually, after joining you, I got an opportunity to interview with a lot of big firms
Mhm.
like BNY, LMAX, one of the biggest law firm as well. Because you told us also to go ahead and interact with people on LinkedIn.
True.
So they helped me even to get through the interviews as well. LMAX is one of the most competitive in the financial market, but I was able to reach the third round. There
Mhm.
were only two people who were selected in the whole 4 rounds. I got an opportunity for these all companies, but I couldn't crack it because it was my mistake. The things you were saying, because I used to get nervous, like
Mhm.
what to answer and what to do. But then later on, got an opportunity with Randstand,
Mhm.
and they liked me. They eventually got an approval to have an extra role for me because they liked me.
Really good. So, when it comes to landing a job as an international student in the UK, what's more important, CV or interview?
I think it's both. It goes hand in hand
Mhm.
because if you're selling something on the CV and if you don't have it on the interview, you
Mhm.
won't be selected because CV selection is important. And I think that the strategy of not only applying on LinkedIn, tailoring CV, but also chasing them through their HR email ID and everything,
Mhm.
because they are very active on their email ID rather than on LinkedIn. Because for one position, there are 100 people who are applying,
Mhm.
but those 100 people will not take enough efforts to go ahead and actually email them, speak to them, and try to get them on call. Rather than, like, one strategy of yours is try to get them on call rather than just selling the CV,
Yeah.
right? Because there are 100 of CVs they're going through and they are not able to go through with each and every CV every day.
Mhm.
So that, I think the both goes hand in hand, but the most important thing is interview, how you speak in the interview. No matter how good your CV is, how it is, but if you're nervous, they actually consider this, that even if you're nervous, be honest about it. So
Mhm.
the difference between the rest of the interviews and this interview is that I entered confidently, but I was nervous, and that could be seen very well. In this interview, I was pretty clear about with my interview that yes, I am nervous, and I am, because it's my first interview with Barclays and everything. So I am nervous. So they actually calmed me down.
How did you build the confidence to do well in the interview?
After attending the sessions which you had, it is actually really important to attend the sessions which you have. Please go ahead and book one-on-one session with Fez.
Mhm.
It actually helped me a lot before the interview. I always made sure that I try to get in to book a session so that I know where I am falling apart, because I know what mistakes I am doing, and I know what exactly I need to learn more to apply it in my next interview.
That's really good. Obviously, for an international student that is on a PSW and
Yeah.
thinking of giving up because they've just gotten rejected too many times, right?
Yeah. I got rejected 600 times
Six,
just on LinkedIn.
oh wow, that's a lot, right? How
Yeah.
how do you stay motivated? Because obviously that's really demotivating, right? So how do you stay motivated?
I didn't came here to go back. That's all I have in my mind. I've not come here to go back. Like, even if I get an opportunity to work for 2 years, at least start with getting a job, because you need to get into the market. Once you have the experience on the CV, there is a lot of companies sitting to sponsor you or to get you on board. Right now, even if you're on a PSW, like you have just started it or just 6 months, just think of getting a job. So I had a very good conversation with one of my friend day before yesterday, where he spoke how he convinced the HR to sponsor him. Just giving an example, like if the code is 1501 and the HR was not ready to sponsor in that code, he got himself sponsored with a high skilled code with a higher salary, because he knew that what he is offering. So the company which was not ready to sponsor at all and asked him to go back, actually called him and sponsored him and paid him extra, so that he's on a high skilled worker visa now in just span of 2 years working with the company.
Impressive. Very, very impressive. So Asiya, a couple of other questions are going to be is obviously you were part of the graduate network, TGN, right?
Yeah.
What role did TGN play in helping you and supporting you get that job?
Tailoring CVs,
Mm-hmm.
cover letter. So I used to actually work 12 hours a day. Okay, only used to get one day off, which was Friday. Except that I used to work the rest of the days, but I made sure I come back home. Even if I'm at work, I try to attend the sessions 6 to 7, which we have. Interview sessions which I had with you helped me a lot more than the sessions, the one-on-one session which you have on Friday. And secondly, no one ever said no to me for any questions. Whenever I had questions, I know I can turn up, I can ask questions. They never said no, we won't help. Even for the CV, if I'm like, oh, this is getting rejected, what should I do? And then there are steps which they give me to change. So since the time I joined network, I actually got good amount of respect, like one of the biggest firms I got in interviews with. And also like emailing them, contacting them on LinkedIn and asking them how will it be and how is the interview gonna be and what do you think about it. Book my different kind of meets on Eventbrite. So if, when you go and interact, because law is something, if you don't interact, you're not in the market, people will not consider you. Book, like I used to attend events so that I make connection with people. They know that I'm in the market. And if in case, not just go up and straight speak about the interviews or a job, like understanding what the market requires, because every company requires something else, even though they have written something else on the CV. But now I'm not only doing onboarding, I'm doing account transfers, I'm doing everything, like end to end.
My other thing that I'm going to bring up, really, and I think this is really important to anyone that's watching, is that Asiya is actually a law graduate. You've done an LLM, right?
Yeah, LLM, right.
And you're currently working as an onboarding business partner.
So I did LLM in commercial law. So that gives me to be a part of data privacy, finance law, and everything. But yes, this is compliance, which is completely not irrelevant, but it is little bit. Like, for example, if you talk about an engineer, mechanical engineer, they're looking at not at just one aspect, they're looking at different aspects. The main thing they're looking for is confidence. Will you be able to handle the task? Will you be able to communicate with different teams? And how you going to internally manage things if someone is on a holiday? How are you going to be handle the stakeholders, your peers, and how are you going to adhere with all the, you can say, companies and extra.
So, okay, so that's really good. So that means you did a master's in LLM in law, and the role that you landed is related to what you studied.
Yeah, exactly.
Really good. That's even better, actually, because obviously landing a job in a big company within your field is probably the best feeling ever, right?
Yeah, exactly. This role I have targeted is because I wanted this role. Even though I was working in a different sector overall, I managed to use that experience. Like, for example, wherever you're working, Sainsbury or anywhere, you can use those experience. For example, customer service, stakeholder management. You're already interacting with a lot of your peers. How you're handling the pressure, how are you working under pressure? You can actually use all those things to transfer. Because one thing I've understood, that London doesn't care about which background you are. They don't have a problem to hire you from a different background if you know how to use those skills here. So that's what you taught me, that how I can use my previous experience here.
True. Yeah, that's really important. If you learn how to use your previous experience from back home or like part-time experience from UK and you apply it to the full-time job that you want, then getting a job does get easier. If someone is struggling to land a job right now and they don't know what to do, what's your advice?
Don't give up,
Mhm.
because I took around 8 months to get my first job. It took me 4 months to get my first interview call. Don't give up, try your best, but think out of the box. So try to speak to your professors in university, because they will always be harsh, but they will give you a different kind of way to look at things rather than thinking about in your own zone. Because I used to be very interactive with my professors. So
Mhm.
I had a professor with whom I spoke on LinkedIn before joining you or before starting my job applications. He told me, why will a company hire you if you don't have any experience in London? So you
Mm.
need to think out of the box. You need to think how you can please arrange a call with them, because they are seeing the CVs, they know who you are, they know what your experience you have, and they know what you're going to get to the table, but they don't know exactly how you're going to handle the work you are expected to do it. So unless and until you get them over a call, through an email or LinkedIn, connect with them. London people are really very, very honest. They
Mm.
will either upfront give you an answer, okay, let's have a call, or upfront they'll tell that no, we are busy or we are doing something, but they will come back when they do have something. So they are not someone that they will reject you or they will insult you or something, but they will actually help you out. Whichever company I've applied and I've got an interview, I have reached out to people who are already working there, and they did help me with the interview. I also landed one interview through LinkedIn because I was speaking to someone and he referred me to his company.
Yeah, that's big. It's always networking and getting in contact with the right people at the right companies is really big. You've landed a job in the UK, in London, as an onboarding business partner at one of the biggest companies in the UK or maybe even the world, and you're an international student.
Thank you so much for being so supportive and always being there for me,
No worries.
always answering my questions.
And obviously, the more questions international students ask, the better the results are going to be. Because if you don't ask, you're not going to get.
It's really important to ask more and more questions. What Faiz is saying, because it really helps. Because the first month in December, I was blank. I had no interviews, and I was like, I don't want to do this. I don't have interviews. And he's like, tell me honestly, how much are you applying? And I
Mm,
was like, I am not putting that efforts to blame him. It's me.
mm.
So the one advice I would like to give to all the people who will be seeing this video, stop blaming others. You need to find the loophole in yourself. There is something wrong with you, because if you're not getting hired and someone else is getting hired, that means something is lacking in yourself to work on, rather than blaming others. So when I did not land up an offer letter from LMAX, I was very depressed for 2 weeks. Like I was crying. I was talking to my friend who used to live with me, and she was like, "No, don't give up and everything." But she told me one thing: you need to start working on yourself. So I started working on myself. But if someone got hired and I actually cracked and been on the third round, there was something, because second round was technical round. It was difficult, but I did crack it. But if I am on third round and I'm not able to do it, that means something I am doing wrong. So no, they want you. That's why they called you in. You need to find out the loophole in yourself, like what I am doing wrong, and then only you will be able to crack how things go.
Yeah, and that's a hard reality check international students need to do. Obviously, the UK job market is only good if you are good, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because you need to work on your skills. Like I used to work on my communication more. I used to try and learn more things. I'm learning extra language. You need to do everything. You have to have that reality check, because UK market will only give you the best when you are the best.
That's true. Yeah, you couldn't have said it better than that, to be honest.
Yeah.